You load up your plate with colorful veggies, feeling confident you're fueling your body right. But what if, hiding in that healthy-looking bowl, are vegetables that are quietly worsening your joint pain? Vegetables that might be the very reason you're feeling stiff, achy, or inflamed? After 60, joint pain can feel like an inevitable part of aging. But what if some of that discomfort is actually coming from foods you thought were helping you, not hurting you? Could avoiding just 3 common vegetables be the key to reducing inflammation and finally finding relief? You're about to discover what these vegetables are, how they fuel inflammation, and what you can eat instead to support your joints and feel more mobile, limber, and pain-free. Let's explore this together. Did you realize that while vegetables are foundational for a healthy diet, certain types contain compounds that, for some individuals, may act as inflammatory triggers or negatively impact gut health, indirectly contributing to joint pain and damage, particularly as inflammation becomes more prevalent and problematic after 60? It's not your imagination that chronic inflammation is a major factor in joint pain in conditions like arthritis after 60. While an anti-inflammatory diet rich in fruits, vegetables, healthy fats, and lean proteins is beneficial, consistently consuming specific foods that irritate or provoke an inflammatory response in sensitive individuals can fuel this underlying issue. Some research explores the potential for certain natural compounds found even in vegetables, like specific alkaloids, lectins, or high levels of particular fatty acids in processed forms, to increase inflammation or affect immune responses in susceptible individuals. Often, the subtle impact of regularly including these potentially problematic vegetables goes unnoticed, contributing to a low-grade inflammatory state that silently exacerbates joint pain, stiffness, and accelerates tissue damage. This subtle dietary influence on systemic inflammation, often overlooked amidst the general push to eat more vegetables, is quietly contributing to your chronic discomfort and limiting your physical freedom. Have you ever felt that your joint pain seems worse after certain meals? That general healthy eating isn't fully managing your inflammation? Or wondered if specific vegetables, even healthy ones, could be making things worse for your joints after 60? This isn't just random variability. It points to the biochemical interactions between compounds in certain vegetables and your body's inflammatory pathways, interactions that are particularly relevant for individuals experiencing joint inflammation after 60. Doctors emphasize eating vegetables, but the nuanced distinction about which specific types might be problematic for some people with inflammatory joint conditions, especially in older age, is not always highlighted. Yet, understanding which specific vegetables to potentially avoid holds a crucial key to naturally reducing inflammation and protecting your joints after 60. The critical importance of identifying and removing dietary triggers for systemic inflammation, particularly to manage joint pain and protect against further degeneration in conditions like arthritis after 60, is a significant area of research. Unlike eliminating obvious triggers like excessive sugar or processed foods, recognizing potential sensitivities to specific vegetables requires a deeper understanding of dietary compounds and individual responses. Issues like the presence of certain alkaloids and nightshades, specific types of fatty acids in processed forms of vegetables, or compounds that might disrupt gut barrier function in a few vegetables can function in the background. There are no blaring sirens signaling that a specific vegetable you ate is subtly increasing inflammatory markers in your bloodstream. This subtle dietary influence gradually fuels the inflammatory process within your joints until the evidence becomes undeniable. persistent or increased pain, stiffness, swelling, and potentially accelerated joint damage. A startling truth revealed by numerous studies focusing on diet, inflammation, and joint health. While vegetables are overwhelmingly anti-inflammatory, consistently consuming certain specific types or forms can, for some individuals, contribute to inflammatory load and worsen joint pain after 60. The worst thing isn't even that some vegetables might be problematic. It's that many seniors don't realize this possibility and unknowingly consume potential triggers daily, preventing them from finding full relief and protecting their joints. This process of silent dietary contribution to joint inflammation can begin decades earlier, but its impact becomes significantly more pronounced and critical to manage after 60, when the body's inflammatory state may already be elevated. This one click could make all the difference if you or someone you care about is over 60 and experiencing joint pain or discomfort, is concerned about inflammation, and wants to discover which specific vegetables might be secretly making things worse, and how removing them could lead to natural relief and joint protection. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell before we proceed with this life-altering information about the 3 vegetables you should never eat because they damage your joints after 60 by triggering inflammation. Every week we offer important health insights, like this one that could significantly raise your standard of living, daily comfort, and ability to stay active with less joint pain. Our upcoming video might be just what you or a loved one needs to hear to protect their joints by making smart choices about which vegetables to avoid. So don't miss it. Are you prepared to discover which common vegetables could be fueling your joint inflammation after 60? Get ready. And I want to know whether you're with me if you're now watching. If this video resonates with you, if you've felt that persistent joint pain or inflammation, tell me one healthy food you currently eat regularly that you sometimes wonder if it's making your pain worse by typing it in the comments below. The uplifting discovery: managing joint pain and reducing inflammation after 60 involves not only including beneficial foods but also strategically identifying and removing potential dietary triggers. There is immense hope for finding natural relief and reducing the inflammatory burden on your joints by understanding that certain vegetables, while healthy for many, might be problematic for you after 60. The notion that all vegetables impact inflammation the same way is being challenged by research, exploring individual sensitivities and the effects of specific plant compounds. While vegetables are overwhelmingly anti-inflammatory and nutrient-dense, consistently avoiding or significantly limiting certain types or forms can, for some individuals, lead to a noticeable reduction in systemic inflammation and joint pain. Researchers have found that certain vegetables contain compounds that, in sensitive individuals, could potentially stimulate inflammatory responses or negatively impact gut health, which is closely linked to inflammation, or they are commonly consumed in processed forms that are inherently pro-inflammatory. Researchers today understand that while aging and other factors contribute to joint inflammation, the severity of pain and discomfort can be dramatically influenced by easy-to-implement methods centered around removing specific dietary triggers. What if you knew that by simply stopping eating just 3 types of common vegetables or forms, you could significantly reduce inflammation, potentially alleviate joint pain, and protect your joints from further dietary-fueled stress after 60? When it comes to managing joint inflammation and protecting your joints after 60, strategically removing these 3 specific vegetables or forms from your diet is a remarkably impactful strategy for those who may be sensitive or consuming them in detrimental ways. Let's dive into the 3 vegetables You should never eat, they damage your joints after 60 by triggering inflammation. First, the category of vegetables. Most commonly cited in anecdotal reports and some research as a potential inflammatory trigger for some individuals with joint issues, nightshade vegetables. This group includes tomatoes, potatoes, especially white potatoes, eggplant and peppers, bell peppers, chili peppers. These vegetables contain compounds called glycoalkaloids, such as solanine in potatoes and tomatoes. While these are nutritious foods for the majority of people, some individuals with inflammatory conditions, like arthritis, report increased joint pain or stiffness after consuming nightshades. Theories suggest these compounds could potentially impact inflammation, nerve signaling, or gut permeability in susceptible individuals, thereby exacerbating joint pain and stiffness. It's crucial to note that robust scientific evidence for a universal link is still debated, and personal sensitivity is key. If you notice a consistent pattern of increased joint pain after eating these, they might be a trigger for you. Why never eat, or strictly limit them if sensitive, for some individuals? These vegetables may contribute to inflammation or trigger symptoms due to compounds like glycoalkaloids. An elimination trial under guidance can help determine personal sensitivity. Second, a vegetable that, when consumed in certain processed forms common in the Western diet, contributes significantly to inflammatory imbalance: corn, especially processed corn products and corn oil. While fresh, whole corn in moderation is less likely to be an issue, corn and its derivatives are pervasive in the food supply, leading to high consumption of corn oil, which is very high in omega-6 fatty acids, relative to anti-inflammatory omega-3s. This imbalance promotes a pro-inflammatory state that exacerbates joint pain and contributes to cartilage breakdown. Furthermore, corn is processed into high-fructose corn syrup, a ubiquitous sweetener known to fuel inflammation. Relying heavily on corn-based products contributes to the inflammatory imbalance that can worsen joint pain after 60. Why never eat, or strictly limit them in excess/processed forms? Excessive intake of corn-derived products, especially corn oil and high-fructose corn syrup, contributes to an unhealthy omega-6 balance and inflammatory sweeteners, fueling systemic inflammation impacting joints. Third, a detrimental way of preparing otherwise healthy vegetables that introduces harmful inflammation-causing fats: deep-fried vegetables. Any vegetable, no matter how healthy it is in its natural state, like zucchini, onions, or even potatoes, which are nightshades but the frying adds its own issues, becomes potentially damaging to joints when deep-fried. Deep frying saturates vegetables with unhealthy fats, often high in omega-6 or containing artificial trans fats, and involves cooking at high temperatures that can create harmful compounds. Consuming deep-fried vegetables regularly actively fuels systemic inflammation that directly contributes to joint pain and degeneration after 60. The high inflammatory load accelerates wear and tear and increases pain sensitivity in your joints. Why never eat, or strictly limit them? The frying process introduces significant amounts of pro-inflammatory fats and compounds that negate any inherent vegetable health benefits and actively harm your joints. By actively stopping or significantly reducing your intake of these three categories of vegetables or forms, potentially problematic nightshades if sensitive, processed corn products/corn oil, and deep-fried vegetables, you can dramatically reduce the inflammatory load on your body and protect your joints from further dietary fueled damage after 60. This isn't about fearing all vegetables. It's about identifying potential triggers and making informed choices. It's about replacing these potentially problematic options with a wide variety of known anti-inflammatory vegetables like cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, leafy greens, romaine, kale, colorful bell peppers, carrots, asparagus, and others, which actively support joint health and overall well-being. Your joint comfort and ability to manage inflammation after 60 are profoundly influenced by the foods you choose to avoid today, including specific vegetables or forms that might act as triggers for you. Just managing pain or focusing only on including healthy foods isn't fully addressing the potential dietary contribution to joint inflammation. Stopping consumption of these three types of vegetables or forms, based on potential sensitivities or their common preparation methods, provides a powerful way to reduce inflammation and potentially alleviate joint pain. Consistently avoiding these potentially detrimental vegetables or forms can significantly reduce inflammatory burden and improve your comfort, unlike just hoping things won't get worse. Keep in mind that individual sensitivities vary greatly. The key is mindful observation and potentially elimination trials under guidance. This is a foundational strategy that works synergistically with incorporating anti-inflammatory foods, maintaining a healthy weight, and engaging in appropriate physical activity. Your joint health and comfort will improve over time as you consistently eliminate potential harmful foods. Don't wait until joint pain severely limits your life or inflammation feels uncontrollable. With these insights into the three vegetables you should never eat, they trigger joint inflammation after 60. Focusing on the potential impact of nightshades, if sensitive, processed corn products, corn oil, and deep-fried forms, you are now empowered to consider critical dietary changes to protect your joints right now. The startling reality is that removing these potentially problematic vegetables or forms from your diet, which are accessible and manageable for most individuals, may dramatically reduce inflammation, potentially slow the progression of joint damage, improve your comfort, and enhance your physical capability for decades to come. Far more than relying on chance or accepting decline. You literally hold the power, through choosing which vegetables or forms you don't eat, to protect your joint health and quality of life after 60. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell immediately. If you thought this information was helpful and provided clear, actionable guidance on vegetables that might harm your joints. We are always looking at the newest developments in nutrition, joint health, longevity, and vibrant aging. 3 easy morning routines that can prolong your life are revealed in our upcoming video. You should not miss it. Show this video to a loved one who may be experiencing joint pain, discomfort, inflammation, or is looking for natural ways to support their joint health after 60. Their life might be changed by your simple act of sharing this powerful information. After learning about these, which one of the never eat vegetables or forms will you consider limiting or eliminating from your diet first starting today to help reduce joint inflammation? Share your commitment in the comments below.